Welcome back to another installment of Velvet Owl Watches Movies, the only podcast where I, Velvet Owl, will watch a movie in the hopes that you will not have to. I'm working on trying to get this out on time, but if I'm late this week, I apologize. I got my second shot of the COVID vaccine, and it really wiped me out. I mean, not really. I had a couple of hours of chills. It barely affected me, but I'm going to use it to blame for my laziness. This is a momentous episode. It's my 10th episode, and anyone who knows me knows that I tend to get bored real quick and quit doing things long before I reach like 10 episodes, 10 installments of anything that I've tried doing. So this is pretty big. It's your love that keeps me going. Not that any of you, bother showing me love by commenting on the YouTube page or sending me an email at velvetowl@hotmail.com. But, you always can. Please do. Anyhow, when I started this podcast, I knew that at some point I would have to do a Lifetime movie. And I also knew that at some point I would have to do an Eric Roberts movie. And God must have shined upon this podcast this week because I've gotten a twofer, a Lifetime movie starring Eric Roberts. I love me Eric Roberts. He's what I would want to be if I were an actor, because he just never met a paycheck he doesn't like. I imagine his salary isn't like that high. He doesn't make Tom Cruise level per movie, but the amount of movies he does make, I think it comes close to, maybe not Tom Cruise, but, I think he's in the upper level of money per year. He just doesn't give a fuck. And he's much cooler than Julia. So this film is called Just What the Doctor Ordered. And the description is, having escaped from the psychiatric prison, Dr. Albert Beck hides out in an empty house until its new owners unexpectedly arrive to move in. Forced into the attic to evade the recently widowed mother, Beck watches from above, undeniably attracted to her 18-year-old daughter. Just fantastic. I'm glad she's 18, so she's legal for the doctor to fawn over. So, I wonder what kind of doctor he was. It'd be kind of ironic if he was a psychiatrist himself. Well, let's press play and see what happens. A radio broadcast and newspapers that are strewn all over the road tell us that there was a fire at the psychiatric hospital and several inmates are unaccounted for. I'm guessing one of those inmates is Eric Roberts. And mother and daughter have arrived to their new house, which is a fucking mansion. Just great mansion. And for reasons I don't know why, they're doing all the moving themselves. Which you could afford. It's not even really a mansion to me. Anything that probably cost over $500,000, I consider a mansion. But it's a huge fucking house. And if you can afford this house, you can afford professional movers. And if you're just too cheap to afford, or too cheap to pay professional movers, call your friends up, have them move, and get some pizza and wings. That's how it goes. You get your friends or family, someone with a pickup truck, carry all your stuff, and then you just feed them. So that are professional movers. Why are you moving it all yourself? But someone's watching from the attic. And I'm guessing it's Eric Roberts. And the daughter's moving stuff in, and she hears a sound. And she's kind of scared. But during the opening credits, the one I'm kind of most intrigued is, it says it's based on characters created by Doug Campbell. Which generally, that credit means that this is either a sequel or a remake, a reboot maybe. Um, or maybe these are characters that were in a series of novels or comics or something, and they just took the characters, and this isn't based on any specific story. What I'm saying is there might be more stories involving these characters. That might be something I'll want to search out depending on how I like these characters. And I hope it's Eric Roberts. The daughter is moving her stuff into her room while Eric Roberts is in a vent or something. Because there's a little crevice that he can peek through. So it looks like it's a vent. So I don't know, he's in the air duct or something. Or maybe there's just a vent that leads to the attic. But he can see perfectly into the daughter's bedroom. So I see where this is going. He is going to watch her. Luckily, clear access to her bedroom. And her bed has like that top cover that goes over it, which is good because it's going to avoid any cum that's going to land. Because I'm calling it now. Eric Roberts is going to be jacking off while she's asleep. And all the cum will at least be caught on the canopy or whatever you call it. Those sheets that are over the bed to kind of give it a cover. And the daughter thinks she hears something. And you think at first, oh, is Eric Roberts coming? But nope, jump scare, it's mom. After mother and daughter leave the room, Eric Roberts, still looking down upon it, smiles that perfect Eric Roberts smiles and says, "Looks like I'm the winner." Man, this guy plays sleaze to perfection. Probably because he really is sleazy. I don't know, he seemed nice on that one episode of My Cat from Hell, where he had to bring Jackson Galaxy to get his cat to start behaving. It's like The Dog Whisperer, but for cats. Good show. You should check it out. So now it's nighttime, and Eric Roberts, just complete fucking ballsy Eric Roberts, leaves the attic, quietly, stealthily goes downstairs, walks into her room, lays down on the bed next to her, tells her, "I'm watching you," and then gives her a kiss on the forehead. I thought he was just going to be staring from the ceiling, at least for a couple weeks, just stare and jack off. But no, he just right away, first night, he is down there and he's trying to make the moves. And she wakes up and she's scared, but he puts his hand on her mouth so that she can't make a sound. Eric Roberts tells her that he won't hurt her because he understands how precious life is because he used to be a surgeon. And he had to hide out for a bit because he's cured now, but, I don't think he even really gives a real reason why he was hiding in the empty house. He just was. But he tells her that he loves her. He's going straight for it. He's not even grooming her. He's just straight ahead. And it works because she's like, "I love you and I won't tell anyone." But oh, it's just a dream. Or just a fantasy in his head because he's actually still there. He's not dreaming. He's just daydreaming. And he hasn't actually touched her yet. But mom comes because she needs to check in on daughter. So he hides behind a door and she doesn't know he's there. And I've always wondered, does this really work if you hide behind a door? Are you able to really be that still that someone doesn't realize that you're there? At least even question, do I hear some heavy breathing? Did I hear something move? I don't know. I've never been in a situation, at least that I'm aware of, where someone was hiding behind a door. And now I'm frightened, because there could have been situations where someone was hiding behind a door on me, and I didn't realize, and I didn't know, and I was in danger. I could have been hurt. The next morning, the daughter gets picked up for school by her boyfriend. Which, if she has a boyfriend, why wasn't he helping her move? Like, he's a big, strong, looks like he's probably a football player or something. He could have carried some heavy boxes, but no, the women had to do it all by themselves. All it would take is probably a blowjob and some beer. Could have got his help. Meanwhile, Eric Roberts is watching through the window like a creeper. He's hiding in her room, even though mom's still home, because Eric Roberts has some fucking balls. And now it's nighttime, so I guess we're not going to get any sense of what daughter's life is like at school. But, her mom is off at some event, so she's all alone having to unpack things. Because, boyfriend could fucking come over and help unpack. Sure, I'm sure mom said, no boyfriend's over. But he could have come and helped, and all it would have cost is a blowjob and some beer. Seriously, no matter who you are, if you know a high school football player and you want him to help you move, a blowjob and beer. Or so I've heard. I'm not saying I've done that. Ha 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 ha. But anyways, daughter starts having heart palpitations, probably from all this heavy extraneous lifting of boxes, because her fucking boyfriend won't help. He's a shitty boyfriend. So you know what? Fuck him. He doesn't deserve a blowjob. And she starts having heart palpitations and passes out. She might be having a heart attack, but luckily Eric Roberts is there to call 911. He may be a creeper, but he's a creeper with heart, and he possibly saved her life. And I bet he's not even going to ask for a blowjob in return for saving her life. So at the hospital, Eric Roberts sneaks in, and this hospital seems to not have very much in the way of security, because he just sneaks into like the janitor's closet or some closet, gets a pair of scrubs, and just puts it on so he can pretend he's, orderly or something. I don't know. People see him with scrubs, they'll think, okay, he belongs there. And meanwhile, a real doctor is talking to the mother, and he tells mom that, daughter is having heart problems. They got a pacemaker in, but she's got degenerative cardiac something or other. Basically, she needs a heart transplant within 6 months, because this is a Lifetime movie, and, you've got hard incurable diseases, or, rare or barely, whatever. She has a rare blood type. She needs a heart transplant. Shit is about to hit the fan because she's only got 6 months. The clock is going. And luckily Eric Roberts overhears this, because he is going to get her a heart. He's not going to give her his heart. At least not literally. Maybe metaphorically. Metaphorically, she has taken his heart already. But he is going to fucking kill someone, cut their heart out, and give it to her. I mean, that's my guess. That's what I would do if I was Eric Roberts. And I don't mean just Eric Roberts in this particular movie. If I were Eric Roberts in real life, I probably would at some point kill someone and take their heart. And Eric Roberts creeping outside of the daughter's room, overhearing the doctor talk. And the doctor tells the family about mom and the boyfriend who's shown up, who claims he didn't call 911, so everyone's kind of wondering, like, who did call 911? Oh, well, not important. And so the doctor tells them that she's going to need a home nurse, which you can see in Eric Roberts' eyes. The wheels are turning because he has his in. Oh boy, he has his in. He's going to pretend to be a home nurse. So that way, he's already inside the home. That's perfect. That should be the job interview when he interviews. Like, why would you be good? I already am in this house all the time anyhow, and I'm already watching your daughter. All right, you're hired. But then after everyone's gone and she's asleep, he sneaks into her room because he is fucking ballsy as balls, and walks up to her and whispers that he's gonna get her a heart and he will do the surgery himself. And I'm telling you, I'm calling it. He is gonna fucking murder someone for a heart. He's gonna kill a hobo. she's got a rare blood type, so he's gonna have to kill a lot of hobos until he finds one with the right blood type. Eric Roberts finds out that the nurse that's gonna be referred to take care of the daughter is named Chris. I guess short for Christina or something. But, this is fortuitous. It's lucky for him, because, he could pretend that he's Chris. Could be a boy or a girl's name. It's lucky that it wasn't like Shaniqua, because as great of an actor as Eric Roberts is, I don't think he could get anyone to buy the fact that he'd be a Shaniqua. Nothing racist about that. I'm just saying, I don't have to be the racist because you already saw where I was going with that, right? You heard Shaniqua and you're thinking, black girl. So, I'm no more racist than you are. So he finds Chris's address and sneaks into her house with a syringe full of poison or something. To either kill her or knock her out. I'm going to guess kill, because if you just knock her out, she's going to come to, and your whole plan's going to fall apart when she shows up. But he's not, even though he's stealthy and quiet enough that the daughter can't hear him when he's coming inside her room, he's not quiet enough that Nurse Chris doesn't hear him. They get into a scuffle, and he pushes her down the stairs, and she breaks her neck, and he says to her, "You did this to yourself." And you know what? I have to agree with Eric Roberts on this one. If you just let him stab you with the poison syringe, you could have died peacefully. But no, you had to try to fight, even though you know that you can't beat Eric Roberts because he is best of the best. And I don't know. I mean, you look at Eric Roberts and you think, he's scrawny, he can't fight. But then you remember, he's the best of the best, and the best of the best too. Yes, you should see those films. Actually, I don't know if I've seen them. I might do them. I should do one of them on a future episode of this podcast. Another stroke of good luck for Eric Roberts as the hospital happens to call just at that moment. He picks up the phone, pretends he's Chris, and the deal is made. He is gonna go to daughter's house, back to daughter's house, because, he's basically living there like a rat, eating their cheese when they're gone. I imagine. I mean, right? He's got to be like eating their groceries while they're off wherever they're off to. And so Eric Roberts shows up at the front door, pretending to be the nurse, wearing scrubs, because, I don't know, do home nurses wear scrubs? Or is this just like a subconscious thing of, well, he's wearing scrubs, he must be from the hospital. And even though she's surprised that they would send a man, and even though her daughter feels very, very creeped out by him, especially the way he holds her hand, very, very lovingly. But despite all that, never once does it occur to Mom to ask for identification. I mean, it's not even like he has like a name tag or anything. Don't you just, okay, this random creepy guy says he's a nurse. Let me just verify this. Let me call the hospital. Is your nurse Chris a guy? Which I guess wouldn't help because the hospital called Chris's house and he pretended to be Chris. So yeah, they would think so, because I don't know. I would still fucking ask for identification before I let a stranger into my house. Like, who are you? Why do you have no, like, logo on your scrubs or on your van or any sort of clipboard or something? You don't seem like a fucking nurse. Show some identification. I hate this mom. So Eric Roberts cozies up to the daughter. They talk a little bit about her dead father and all sorts of feel good stuff to make her more comfortable around Eric Roberts. Although she still seems very, very uncomfortable. Possibly because he's just fucking creepy, you know? He just gives off creeper vibes. Listen to your heart, girl. Even though it's gonna explode and you need a new one, you still listen to it. It's telling you not to trust him. And somehow he's got the app that's connected to her pacemaker. Yeah, I'm not sure how that worked out. Like, I mean, I guess it's a hospital app, but I mean, how does he have like the connections to actually connect it to her pacemaker? So I would imagine there's like some sort of code that the hospital would have. Did the hospital give it to him because they still think he's the real Chris? Because even the hospital isn't bothering to fucking check identification. What the fuck? What city is this in? I am never moving to this hoity-toity rich neighborhood where no one checks fucking identification. Which is good if you plan on robbing the place or you're a creeper stalker that's gonna kill someone. Then yeah, you might want to hang out here because they don't check identification. Meanwhile, Mom notices that the neighbor has a security camera. So she asks if she could see the footage. Because, you know, she wants to see like who possibly could have called 911. Because the prevailing theory is that someone just passing by heard screams of help and called 911. Which, I don't know. I mean, couldn't 911 trace it? I mean, if they're that concerned, I don't know. I mean, maybe 911 wouldn't. They'd be like, just fuck you. This is a waste of our time. Because 911 is a joke in your town. Except this is a rich neighborhood. So since they're rich and white, yeah, 911 would fucking totally, like, trace the call. So Mom's over at the neighbor's house and they're going through the security footage, but they don't see anyone walking by. So they're wondering, well, who could have possibly called 911 at that time if no one walked by to hear the screams? Mystery. Meanwhile, Eric Roberts is making tea and biscuits for the daughter, and he's all happy and giddy, except then her boyfriend shows up, and he tries to get the boyfriend to leave, but no can do. Boyfriend really wants to be there and give her her homework. And not a euphemism, literal homework. This makes Eric Roberts very sad because, you know, it's going to cramp his style. And he starts fantasizing that he takes the knife and just hacks up the boyfriend, and the daughter is so grateful and happy that she just falls in love with him. Which could happen, except there's one crucial missing step. First he kills the boyfriend, then he has to take the boyfriend's heart out. Eric, that's how you're gonna win her over. Get her boyfriend's heart for the transplant. So the daughter and her boyfriend ask Eric Roberts to leave the room for, you know, their privacy and all that. And it doesn't make Eric too happy about having to leave poor old daughter with a sleazy boyfriend who's gonna bang the fuck out of her. I mean, I imagine that's what's going on through Eric Roberts' mind. So he starts going through their mail, and I don't know if I mentioned, but I guess the mom is been hired to renovate the old insane asylum that supposedly burned. I don't know if this is the same one, because the insane asylum that Eric Roberts was at supposedly burnt down. I'm getting ahead of myself here. He finds the keys to whatever hospital she's renovating, and he decides to go down there. And it looks like he's reminiscing, but it doesn't look like it burnt down, so I don't know if this is the same place he escaped from. Also, I think it's just a hospital, not an actual insane asylum. But maybe he's like scoping out the area, looking at the hospital beds and all that, and the surgery tables. Because I think maybe this is where he plans on bringing the daughter so that he can do the heart transplant surgery. So while he's at the hospital, he starts having this fantasy that, you know, he's a big important doctor again, and a really hot nurse in a very, very skimpy and absolutely not at all regulation nurse's outfit says, "Hello, doctor." And, he smiles at her, but I don't think he's gonna want to do too much, even though it's so fancy, because, he's in love with the daughter. But suddenly his fantasy turns into a nightmare as he visions himself in a straitjacket, and he's, I guess, back in the insane asylum, but it looks like the hospital he was just fantasizing about, and there's a doctor who's gonna give him electroshock therapy, but the doctor isn't actually there, and Eric Robert realizes this, and he's gonna something and yells at the doctor, and he's back in the present, and he realizes that none of it's real, I think. I don't know. I just want to take a moment and say, um, what's interesting about Eric Roberts is that you can tell that he's half-assing it half the time. More like 95% of the time. He's just seriously complete half-asses it, but he's got so much charm that like it's enjoyable. That makes me wonder, what if he like did a real movie, a good movie with a good director that forced him to actually act and to give his all? He might be like an Oscar winner. He's got the potential to win some fucking awards, but instead he likes to half-ass it and slum it in these horrible movies, and I think that's actually even better. And fucking Eric Roberts' charm is on display full on in this next scene, where I think it's the home of the real nurse Chris, because it looks like it's the same dummy that was there earlier that I may or may not have mentioned during that scene. But so he's got a laptop, which I'm assuming is the real nurse's Chris, and he has it gives him access to like a medical database. So he's looking through all the potential candidates that have AB negative blood, because he needs to find the perfect heart transplant patient for the daughter. And he comes across this woman, and her medical history is great. So he decides she seems like a perfect candidate. He looks her up, and she's got a dating profile. And some of the pictures, it looks like she's a Lara Croft cosplayer while we're at it. So I'm going to call her Lara Croft cosplayer for the rest of this film. And he sends her a message. And seriously, like, just pure fucking Eric Roberts charm as he's reading out loud the message. And he says to her, "I hope to steal your heart." And which is just fucking great. Because, Lara Croft cosplayer is going to think that he means it metaphorically, like, oh, she's gonna swoon over it, when he means he literally wants to fucking steal her heart. And Eric Roberts shows back at the house, the normal house, and the daughter is in the shower, and so he's listening to her in the shower, and it's her own personal bathroom. So he's in the bedroom where the bathroom is like just off of, and he's listening, and he's contemplating whether or not he's going to sneak in and look at her in the shower. And he decides, yeah, he's going to, because he is fucking ballsy. I know I keep saying this over and over, but he is fucking ballsy with how close he comes with his, like, stalking. And so he goes into her bathroom, and I gotta say, her bathroom is, like, bigger than, like, my fucking apartment. Okay, not quite that big, but seriously, it's fucking huge. It's got a hallway. Like, it's not just the bathroom, not just the tub and toilet. It's got a fucking hallway to the tub. My God, she's rich. I can't stand it. And he imagines that she's calling over to him to come to the shower, and he fantasizes about going up to the shower. And she's got one of those glass showers, and she's up against the glass with her lips perched, and he kisses her through the glass like they're in fucking prison and kissing through the glass. But nope, it's just all in his head, and he hears her turn off the shower, so he hightails it out of there before she can catch him. Eric Roberts makes some lunch for her, and they're doing some chit chat when Eric's phone like buzzes because he's got a text message, and daughter is just kind of presumptuous and takes his phone and reads the text. Like, what the fuck? You don't just take someone else's phone unless they give you permission to say, hey, look at my phone. I'm your fucking nurse here. You don't do that. But looks like Laura Croft cosplayer has texted him back and she wants to go out on a date. And then they talk some more about the mysterious Samaritan that saved her life. And he asks her what she would say to him if she knew who he was. Or they were. Like, he's not going to completely blow it as to assume that it's just a guy. And so she's saying, all these sweet things that she would say. And it just makes Eric Roberts swoon. It makes him feel good about how she can see the good in him. Even though she doesn't know it's him. But he knows that she will see him for what he is, a true gentleman with a great heart. And so he's about to tell her that it was him. He's going to tell her, it was me, daughter, or her name. It would be kind of creepy if he said, it's me, daughter, I love you. That'd be kind of interesting. I think that's a completely different Lifetime movie. But he's about to tell her the truth when her phone rings and it's her boyfriend. And Eric Roberts gets cock-blocked again. And so Eric Roberts and Laura Croft cosplayer are at the bar, drinking, chit-chatting. She's drinking more than he is. She burps because she's so drunk, apparently. She doesn't seem that drunk, but she's drinking way too fast, and that caused her to burp. But I don't care because I think she's still hot. And, Eric Roberts, just forget the daughter. She's too young. Because, I think she's still in high school. So, it's very, I'm going to assume she's a senior, but she's on the cusp there. She's probably 17. Maybe 18. Still way too young for you, Eric, but possibly illegally so. So go with Laura Croft cosplayer. And she kind of makes no bones about it. She wants to jump his bones, because I don't know how old she is, but I'm guessing old enough that she doesn't want to play games anymore. So she just wants to go bang him. And him, I think he's glad she's drunk, because it's going to make it easier to rip her heart out. Literally. So, the old, your place or mine, and it's going to be Eric Roberts' place. So the daughter's going to bed. She gets hooked up to her heart monitor machine, which I don't think I've seen her hooked up to it yet since she came home from the hospital. So maybe it's only important when she's sleeping. And mom goes to bed, and after mom goes to bed, daughter pops up, texts her boyfriend, because she's gonna sneak out. She's already dressed. She went to bed in her go-out clothes. And mom didn't catch it, because that's just the way it is. And I would think that, once she unhooked herself from the heart monitors, shouldn't the heart monitors, just start going crazy with their beeping? Like, hey, there's no pulse anymore. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It would just sound like beep, 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 beep. But that's what I'm translating you the beeps. Those beep, beep, beeps is what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And over, Eric Roberts is using the real Nurse Chris's place, which, I guess you might as well. Does Nurse Chris not have any family? So this is a pretty big fucking house, too. So Nurse Chris was bringing in some serious bank, which I guess, she is a nurse. But she has no one. No one stopped by to check on her. Where is the body? Shouldn't the body be decomposing now, causing smell? But Eric Roberts brings Laura Croft cosplayer home, to this home, and she's checking out the apartment, and she sees the doll, the CPR doll, and Eric Roberts is kind of worried, like, oh, she's gonna think I'm crazy. Like, no, this is just for work. You don't have to go crazy. And Lara Croft cosplayer says the line that tells me that Eric Roberts should forget his crazy plan. She says, is she gonna join us? Kinky. Or actually, she said, oh, sounds kinky. Is she gonna join us? And it's like, Eric Roberts, you got this woman that not only wants to bang you, she wants a fucking CPR dummy to be part of whatever sex crazed. Eric, just stop obsessing over the daughter. You have to do this for me. I want to live vicariously through you, Eric Roberts. She wants the CPR doll involved. Daughter sneaks off with her boyfriend from her house. I presume that they're going to go have sex. Sex that does not involve a CPR doll. So, bleh, boring, vanilla, who cares? We're back to Nurse Chris's house where Eric Roberts is trying to plot how he's going to kill Lara Croft cosplayer. Which, Eric, fuck her first. Fuck her with the CPR doll, then kill her. Or preferably fuck her with the CPR doll and don't kill her. That, I think, would be the best plan of action. Fuck her with the CPR doll, don't kill her, text her the next morning, see her again, and fuck her again with or without the CPR doll. This would be the perfect plan, Eric Roberts. But no, he's going through the kitchen utensils. Oh, is he going to use the butcher knife? Is he going to use the claw hammer? Or not the claw, the meat tenderizer hammer? But she sneaks up on him, and he doesn't have a chance to grab a weapon. But she pulls him to the living room. They're dancing. She wants to take his clothes off, but he's like, no, I can do it myself. So he starts undoing his belt while she's dancing, because his plan is he's going to strangle her with the belt. So he's got the belt ready in her hands, when suddenly he sees that she has a pair of handcuffs on her, and it's fucking kinky. CPR doll, handcuffs. It turns out she's a cop, because she also then has a badge, and it makes him super nervous, because, oh no, she's a cop, and, you can't kill a cop. And she sees the belt in his hands and thinks, oh, we're going to have some kinky fun. And Eric Roberts, come on. All the signs are there. You don't want to kill a cop. She wants to fuck you. She wants to involve a CPR doll and the belt, and I'm sure the handcuffs as well. Just fuck her. Just have a night of wild, crazy, kinky sex, Eric Roberts. Forget your plan of killing her. And I mean, it's a noble plan in that you're trying to get a heart transplant for the daughter, but come on. She's hot. She's into CPR dolls, and I don't know why I'm fixated on that. I am just a CPR doll. I am just picturing the ways that you can work this in. It's not like a blow-up doll. It's not a real doll. It's a CPR doll. I might have to take a moment here for myself. Luckily for Eric Roberts, or unluckily from my point of view, I think he's being unlucky by this, but luckily for him, since he doesn't want to fuck the Lara Croft cosplayer who wants to have a threesome with the CPR doll, his phone app starts beeping, the one that's monitoring the daughter's heart rate, and it's going crazy. And remember, it also has a GPS, so it's saying that she's not at home. So, he cuts the date short, but Lara Croft cosplayer understands, because, it's a medical emergency, but she plans on seeing him again, and she plans on fucking him. And I think she plans on fucking him with the CPR doll. And I still say Eric Roberts should go for it. Just my personal opinion. So Eric Roberts follows the GPS, sees that daughter's at a party, and she's going crazy, dancing and drinking. And I gotta say, her jock boyfriend at least seems very concerned and doesn't want her to be doing this stuff. He wants her to take it easy because of her heart. So, jock boyfriend, you've won me over. You're concerned, you're considerate, you have a great heart yourself. And if it were AB negative, I would still root for Eric Roberts to slice it out. But since it's not, you give that daughter a metaphorical heart. But Eric Roberts, quick thinking, decides to call mom and tell him that, these numbers are going all crazy and it says she's somewhere else. Can you check on your daughter? And she says, oh, well, of course. And she checks, and daughter is not in her bed. So Eric Roberts gives the mom the address where the party's at, and mom shows up very pissed, yelling at everyone, and getting daughter all upset, which is causing her heart to go all flutter and crazy, and looks like she might have a heart attack. So Eric Roberts, watching this, knows this is no good, so he quickly calls mom and tells him, her heart rate's going bad, so even though you're upset, you must calm your daughter down, and which she does, and everyone's calm, and everything's back to normal, and they're heading back to the house. Back at home, mom's yelling at daughter for sneaking out, and the daughter's all upset and like, it's my life! And, she just wants to live a little before she dies. And she's mad at Eric Roberts for ratting her out. Which, I can understand, but, it's for your own good. And you need to be watched, because even though you're probably going to die, and you probably don't know it yet, but Eric Roberts is going to get you a heart, and he's going to save your life. And I've just totally forgotten what else happened in the scene, because Eric Roberts is going to save your life. Yeah, whatever. I don't think the rest of the scene's important. You get the gist. Daughter's angry. The next day, in hopes of getting forgiveness, Eric Roberts brings her a present. And it's a heart-shaped music box, which holds a lot of value for her, because it's the same as the one that her dead father got her. And so it smoothed things over. She's happy again, and she likes Eric Roberts again. But not in that way. She likes him, but she doesn't like him, okay? Get it through your head, Eric Roberts, because you still have a chance with Detective Laura Croft cosplayer who wants to fuck you and a CPR doll in a threesome while being choked out by a belt. I realize I am making a lot of assumptions here on what was going to happen if they, hooked up for the night. So maybe it's best that it's just left all into my imagination of what that night would have been. Now, mom gets a call from 911 dispatch that's following up on the issue. And apparently they have erased the recordings, which is weird. Like, how long after is this happening? Because I used to work as a dispatcher and we kept recordings for at least 90 days. I think even longer than that. But apparently since this is a rich people neighborhood, then they trust everyone. They don't need to hold on to tapes for legal purposes. But it does happen that this dispatcher is the one that took the call. And she was able to tell mom that it came from the daughter's cell phone. Which that right there would raise flags. Like, how did it come from the daughter's cell phone? And the dispatcher says that it was a man that called in. So mom's getting very worried. What's going on? Meanwhile, Eric Roberts is getting in touch with one of the other people that he found on the positive blood list type, who's a psychiatrist. And so he's trying to make an appointment to go see the psychiatrist. An appointment that will probably end in murder. Which, and you can say what you want about me, but I'm fine with the psychiatrist being killed. But I still think that Eric Roberts should go on a second date with Detective Laura Croft cosplayer. So Eric Roberts meets with the psychiatrist, which seems like a dangerous plan, because remember, he was in an insane asylum. So a psychiatrist would probably be able to quickly pick up on the fact that, he's a little insane. Or a lot insane, really. And psychiatrist does sense that something's wrong, and Eric Roberts tells him that, he's thinking of violent thoughts because he's in love with a young woman. But he won't say how young, because she's fucking underage. Come on, Eric Roberts. You gotta let it go. She's underage. Meanwhile, there's a perfectly of age Detective Laura Croft cosplayer who wants sex with a CPR doll while being choked with a belt and handcuffed. And I'm just going to keep adding things as to what would have happened had he sealed the deal that night, which he could have sealed the deal. It was right there. I'm disappointed in you, Eric Roberts. But the psychiatrist wants to set up weekly appointments. But Eric Roberts attacks him and knocks him out with a big paperweight thing. And at first I thought, maybe this is just, again, fantasizing in his head. But now we're seeing Eric Roberts tied him up and threw him into the trunk of his car. So maybe this really is happening. Or maybe it's still in his head. Let's see. Now we switch scenes over to the mom. So I'm guessing Eric Robert must have really kidnapped the psychiatrist, because otherwise they would have just shown him wake up from his fantasy. Now, Mom is going into the attic, which must be for the first time, ever. Because when she's up there, she finds, in pretty plain sight, Eric Roberts' old, inmate outfit from the mental asylum. It wasn't hiding. It wasn't underneath stuff. It was just right there in the open, that apparently neither mom nor daughter ever went up to the attic. What the fuck? How long have they been living there? Long enough that the 911 dispatchers erased their tapes, but apparently not long enough that they thought, hey, let's check out what's in the attic. Just... Exactly. You feel that too. You would feel it too. And so Eric Roberts is driving over to the hospital. He's gathered up his supplies and his little carrying case, little cooler. I don't know if he put any ice in it, because without the ice, then this whole thing's going to be kind of pointless of carrying the heart in it. But he's being followed, and I thought it was going to be the mom, but no, it's the Detective Laura Croft cosplayer, that is probably just checking to make sure he's not seeing other women. But she sees him drive up to the hospital and thinks, oh well, and drives on. Which I hope, her detective mind, the wheels are turning in there and going, wait a minute, this hospital is closed down. This guy going in there, he's fucking breaking and entering. Why is he going into this hospital that's closed down? Can't be for any medical thing. Because it's a hospital that's closed down. And he does not belong there. He does not have any right to be on the property. He is trespassing. So I hope she has driven off to get help and get other police to come down, even though she could have just called herself and waited to make sure he doesn't escape. My God, I'm about to have an aneurysm. Eric Roberts, find someone, slice their brain out, and give me a brain transplant. While Eric Roberts is in the hospital getting everything prepared, the psychiatrist somehow manages to break his way out of the trunk of the car. Eric Roberts just must have not done a very good job, A, with, the duct tape and all that, if he could just get his hands free, and B, closing the trunk. I don't know. I've never been in the trunk of a car, so I don't know how easy or difficult it is to get in and out of. Um, but I assume it's tough if everyone keeps putting their kidnappees inside of trunks. I would imagine it's hard to get out of, right? But so the psychiatrist is yelling and going crazy, and all of a sudden, BAM! Gets hit by a truck. And oh well, Eric Roberts says that heart's no good. So, looks like it's going to be back to the drawing board, and Eric Roberts is going to have to find another heart. And apparently it was the mom that was trailing Eric Roberts, not the detective. I tell you, white women all look alike to me. Or maybe subconsciously, my mind just really wants Detective Laura Croft cosplayer, CPR dummy fucking person. I just want her back in this film. Can I get a spin-off film based around her? She's so interesting. I want to know more of her. I love her. I want her heart. So the mom then looks over some news stories about how some inmates are unaccounted for from the mental hospital fire. So she's starting to put two and two together, and she may even get 22. Now, Eric Roberts, it's the next day, and he's walking through the house, and he stops and he overhears because the daughter and her boyfriend's in her room. They're talking. She's telling how sweet it was that he got her that music box, and then the boyfriend lets her know that he'd give her heart if he could, and he could save her life because he also is AB negative. Yes, they share the same blood type. He really could give her his heart, and Eric Roberts just happens to hear it, so now he's got his new plan. He's got his new target. He is going to kill the boyfriend, which is kind of a twofer, because I think he wanted to kill the boyfriend anyhow, because, he's standing in the way. He's a cock blocker. So I'm guessing the plan is to poison the boyfriend, because Eric Roberts made some tea, and he put some sort of cyanide or something into one of the cups. But, you know what? I'm going to take a guess on where this is headed. And you may have jumped there ahead of me, too. He's going to give the cups, and he's going to give them to the wrong people, and the daughter is going to be the one to drink the cyanide and die. Except I think there's still like half an hour left in this film, so she's not going to die. How maybe the boyfriend does die, and the girl gets all upset. I'm just jumping ahead on conclusions. I could be wrong. Okay, so he gives the right cups to the right people. It's not cyanide, it's some sort of sleeping powder or something, because Jock boyfriend, he passes out. He's knocked out like a cold. Exactly. And the daughter was out of the room at the time, and Eric Roberts goes to check his trunk to make sure he's got enough space. The daughter comes back, sees her boyfriend laying on the floor, starts screaming and yelling, and as Eric Roberts comes in, she calls for him to call 911, which throughout this whole film, like, she's been kind of like attached to the hip at her phone. So where's her phone? Why hasn't she gotten her phone? But I mean, she just isn't thinking clearly. And Eric Roberts just admits the truth that, he put sleeping powder to knock out her boyfriend because he's a match. So he's going to take his heart out and give it to her. And that he's the one that called 911 the first time because he was watching her from the attic. Because honesty is the best policy if he's going to make her fall in love with him. It's just a way of the world. But, wouldn't you know it? She does not like the fact that he was watching her from the attic. Or any of the other stuff he's done. So she hits him over the head with one of her trophies and runs out. And the daughter's trying to escape, but her heart just starts giving out and she passes out. So apparently he also put some sleeping powder in her drink as well, just not as much, but enough to kind of keep her heart down so it doesn't explode. Meanwhile, Mom's at the police station with the convict suit, and she's trying to tell them how she's worried that one of the inmates, has been in her house, living in the attic. The front desk cop, he turns her over to the detective, because it's Detective Laura Croft cosplay kinky sex freak. And yes, I'm glad she's back. And seeing them together, oh my god, they do look alike a lot, so I'm not racist for not being able to tell the two apart. Or maybe I still am, and I just think they look alike. I don't know. All I know is that Detective Laura Croft cosplay sex kinky CPR dummy humping freak is back. And I'm kind of worried that maybe all that was a lie, that she was trying to capture Eric Roberts, that she was onto his plan and wasn't at all into the kinky sex and wanting to have a threesome with the CPR dummy. Please tell me that was true. That was a true part of your nature. So the mom and the detective, they're going through photos of the inmates, because the detective has pulled up all the files, and, they assume, I guess people just assumed that the unaccounted inmates were burned to death and incinerated or something. Wouldn't they have had, bodies or something, if that was the case? I don't know. I don't think this town was doing a good follow-up as far as the inmate fire goes. But they're going through the pictures, and then, gasp! They both gasp at the same time when they see Eric Roberts' picture. So, that's good. She did not know that Eric Roberts was the insane, escaped lunatic. So that means that Detective truly is that kinky sex freak that wants to fuck and have a threesome with a CPR doll. And I love her for it. So the police go to the home, but it's too late because Eric Roberts has already taken the daughter and her boyfriend over to the hospital, and he's getting prepared to do surgery. And I'm starting to wonder, was he actually a doctor before he got committed? Or was he in the insane asylum because he thought he was a doctor, and everyone was like, okay, we gotta stop this because you're going around trying to perform surgery on people and you're not qualified? That is a very interesting question. I'm starting to lean to the fact that maybe he never was a doctor. But that's not going to stop him from trying to perform this surgery. Meanwhile, Detective Lady, she remembers seeing him at the hospital, the rundown, empty hospital that doesn't exist anymore, and she should have realized, hey, he's breaking and entering, let me call my fellow cops. She did not, but now it's, the light bulb went off in her head, and they're headed over to the hospital, and they're running in. Will they be able to stop him in time? Tension is high. Music's just kind of pounding and pounding. Will they be able to stop him before he starts operating? He's got a rusty scalpel in his hand. He's about to operate on and open up the jock boyfriend. But suddenly he hears the mom calling for her daughter, and he realizes, okay, I better stop this. So he leaves the room. And while he's gone, the daughter breaks out of her trap because her wrist was duct taped to the hospital bed. And Eric Roberts just sucks at duct taping people to stuff. First the psychiatrist manages to break free. Now she breaks free. She wakes up her boyfriend, and they try to run. Since Eric Roberts wasn't able to find the mom, he decides he's going to go back to the room to perform the surgery, but they're not there. Eric Roberts finally catches up to them because daughter's having all sorts of chest pains and her heart's going all aflutter. And Eric Roberts says he can save her, but then he's stopped by her mom, and she says that he'd have to go through her first and kill her before she'll let him touch his daughter, or her daughter. And then Detective Laura Croft cosplayer comes, and she pulls a gun on Eric Roberts, and she's about to just kick some ass. But then she gets distracted, and he overpowers her, which It's probably the most unrealistic part of this film. I mean, yeah, she only weighs about a buck 20, but come on, it's Eric Roberts. Can he really overpower anyone? And so they're fighting, and they go off screen into some other room, and then you hear a gunshot. Someone's been shot. Is it Eric Roberts? Is it Lara Croft cosplayer? Mom is concerned as other police pile into the building. The other officers find Detective Lara Croft cosplayer. But you know, is she a detective or is she just a regular officer? She's not wearing a police uniform. She's just, dressed up in like a suit and has her badge. So I guess that makes her a detective. But she's in critical condition. I hope she doesn't die. I mean, she never got to live out her dream of having a threesome with a CPR dummy. Or maybe she has. Maybe she has done that before and really likes it, and that's why she wanted to do it again with Eric Roberts. Damn you, Eric Roberts. You could have had a threesome with a CPR dummy, but instead you shot the officer, detective. I can never forgive you. And, all the other bad stuff you've done in this film as well, but especially not having sex with the CPR dummy. And so Mom finds her daughter, and she's okay, she's alive, but, her heart is still just a wreck. So they get her to the hospital. So the daughter's being prepped for her heart transplant surgery, and she's waiting for the surgeon. And the surgeon appears, and, oh no, it's Eric Roberts. And he performs the surgery, even though she's screaming, "Don't let me get the surgery," something, because it's Eric Roberts. And then, whoosh, she wakes up. Oh, the good old fake out. She wasn't really operated on by Eric Roberts, even though she swears she was. But Mom and boyfriend telling her, like, no, you don't have to worry. It wasn't him, and the surgery was a success. And another doctor comes in, and he says, yeah, the surgery was a success, except we found the doctor in the bathroom. Someone else performed the surgery. And hell of a fake out. A fake out. Because it was really Eric Roberts, I think. They haven't revealed yet. But, damn, I guess he really was a surgeon. And he really did save her life. So, for all the bad shit he did save her life. Props, my man. Props. Now that I think about it, what kind of fucking quack hospital just lets a stranger walk into the operating room and just perform surgery? I mean, aren't there, like, whole procedures and, they need to know exactly who's doing what and, the whole team and what the fuck? I hope the family sues for medical malpractice because, god damn it, you just let a fucking stranger just walk in out of nowhere. Did you even make sure he went through the proper health protocols and washed his hands and all that? She might have now caught infection. What the fuck? Fuck this hospital. And so Eric Roberts is now on the run and talking to himself, like literally another version of himself, which is probably like a figment of his manifested insanity. And the other Eric Roberts, the imaginary Eric Roberts, has a straw hat and a Hawaiian shirt and is drinking a pina colada. He's the Eric Roberts you want to hang out with. He's the cool Eric Roberts. But really, any Eric Roberts seems like a cool dude to hang out with. He manages to get a ride from a trucker, despite not offering ass, gas, or grass, which generally you need at least one of those three to get a ride from a trucker. But, it's the Eric Roberts charm. And the trucker just takes him on, and they're off to anywhere but here. Because that's where Eric Roberts says he's headed. Anywhere but here. And the trucker knows that it's women problems. And so that was just what the doctor ordered. And I gotta say, Eric Roberts has like this very weird charisma. Like, you can tell he's half-assing it all the time, but it just kind of adds to his charm. Almost wonder if he like really dedicated himself to his craft. Would he be better or worse? I don't know. I'd like to hang out with Eric Roberts. He's just a very, very charming man. Man, not ma'am. Charming man. But yeah, so the momentous 10th episode of Velvet Owl Watches Movies So You Don't Have to is now in the books. On a previous episode, someone asked me, what if they want to see the movie? And I accept no responsibility for what happens if you watch any of these movies, but it's so you don't have to, not so you can't. So if you really want to watch one of these movies, go ahead. I'm just trying to save you the trouble. But this one's got Eric Roberts, so I can't blame you for wanting to see this movie. And yeah, I don't think you'll regret it if you do watch it. I mean, it's Eric fucking Roberts. I hope he hears this podcast. Does he have a magical thing like someone says his name and his ears prick up and he knows someone's talking about him? In which case, if that is true, he obviously is listening to this podcast because I've said his name like 5 billion times. But Eric, if you're listening, I love you, man. I don't care what anyone thinks of your acting abilities. I love you. You are like the best of the best, and the best of the best too. I want to hang out. Can we be friends? I love you, Eric Roberts. And any of you listening out there, any comments or suggestions or anything, velvetowl@hotmail.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube page if that's the way you're listening to this. But peace out, my homies. I gotta really come up with a cool, clever sign off. But till next time.